Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of RE/MAX Associated Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com.
Treasure Coast Connector. Connecting residents and businesses of the Treasure Coast. And here's your host, Ellen Contreras.
Well, welcome to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras. My company by the same name is one of the show's sponsors, and we help business owners by putting a spotlight on their businesses, connecting them to the consumers in the community. We do this through websites, video production, lead generation programs, social media marketing, advertising, PR, articles in the news, so much more. All the details are on the website, www.tcconnector.com, or call 772-925-4557. Treasure Coast Connector, the show, puts a spotlight on local business owners because everyone has an interesting story of why they do what they do. When we learn about them and do business locally, it strengthens our local economy. Have you recently moved to Vero Beach and you're looking to learn about the community and the resources that it offers? Are you a business owner looking to promote your company? Well, joining me in the studio today is someone who can help. Bob McCabe is the president and CEO of the Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce, and he is also on the Vero Beach City Council. He's here to talk about all that the Chamber has to offer for both residents and businesses alike. So welcome to the show, Bob.
Well, thank you, Ellen.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, so before we talk about, because there is so much that the Chamber does, there's a lot to go over, but you have quite an extensive background yourself. So if you could just share with us a little bit about your business background.
Well, it really started, my business background actually started when I was in high school. I started my own little company, house painting and small contracting around my neighborhood in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I had 5 employees and stuff, so it was really good. And I like to bring that out because an awful lot of our chamber members are sole proprietors or very small business people. So I think the sensitivity to some of the smaller issues is very, very important, if you would. So,
yeah.
But I did eventually graduate from Cornell with an undergrad and then a master's degree. And while I was going to Cornell, I got involved in management a little bit too. I played hockey, and but then graduated from there to be the manager of the team and then assistant coach.
Wow!
And we had some really good teams there that were just an awful lot of fun. And I dragged that out too long, probably as an experience. But then I worked for General Motors, went down to New York City, like we were talking earlier, and worked at 59th and 5th for GM. Beginning there, but then they sent me around the world, and one of my favorites, I got to live in Scotland for 3 years on General Motors nickel, and that was really kind of fun. And then I did a even more extensive, if you would, I did a joint venture in Baotou, Inner Mongolia, negotiating with the Chinese government. So I'm glad I'm not doing that these days.
Oh, sure.
But
climate is a little different now.
Yeah, that would be quite different. It was a little strange back then, but after that, I did 10 years of turnaround management consulting, which got me involved in fixing up and working with a lot of distressed companies, I guess I would say. So, but that was kind of fun.
Yeah,
But then down here, I've had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, very good. And so you were doing consulting here as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's an organization here called SCORE. Well, it's all over the country.
Oh, yes.
Service Corps of Retired Executives, and it's a volunteer activity. And there were 32 or so of us here in the Treasure Coast that mentored people wanting to become entrepreneurs. We did seminars, but most importantly, we did one-on-one consulting with them to help them through the process. So.
Yeah, and that's very nice. So all of this dovetails beautifully into what you do now. So I have like this HR recruiting, background.
Yes.
So I can see where skills fit sometimes, especially as people want to make changes. So
and grow their business and that kind of thing. Yeah, there's a lot of tools that you can do that. And, but a lot of hand-holding doesn't hurt either and so forth.
That is very true.
Like that's what you do.
Absolutely. And especially since you've been there yourself, at every different level. So now, what made you decide to want to start the Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce?
Well, way back when, in one of my assignments, I was up in Flint, Michigan, Genesee County, and so forth, and I got invited to be and elected to be the chairman of the Genesee County Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And within that county, that again was centered around Flint, Michigan, but in that county, we also had 5 separate cities that had their own chambers of commerce.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the one that I was the chair of was the county one. And I thought that worked very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
We helped the cities out where they didn't have all the resources. We would help them with their activities, and then we would do some joint projects and joint programs too, like a countywide jobs fair, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked out really, really well. So when I got down here, I found that Sebastian has its own city chamber of commerce, and then there's the county chamber here. And I kind of felt that the county might be a little spread thin in some of the activities going on in Vero.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good idea to come and start a chamber focused on Vero Beach itself and the businesses in Vero.
Yeah, that's
Think Vero first.
Yes, and yes, so I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention that. Okay, so but you know what we'll do? We'll talk about that in a second because when the coronavirus shut us down, it's going on 2 years already,
Isn't that
right?
incredible.
So 2 years ago, I remember being at Marine Bank and Trust. Joe Coakley had an event there, and it was right before St. Patty's Day, and we were all circled around, and we were kind of talking a little nervously, like, what's going to happen? And then a week later, we were all told to stay indoors, right?
Yep.
And so that set off a chain reaction of people were scared. People lost their jobs temporarily. There was just a lot of panic and fear, right?
It was all the unknown. It's just not knowing what was going to go on. And we still have some degree of that, but nothing like back 2 years ago, March.
But then over the past 2 years, over 14,000 more people have moved into Indian River County. I don't know how they found us, but they did, right?
The secret's out, Ellen. The secret's out.
But what that has done for us is it's actually created a unique set of opportunities. So I'd like for you to maybe share with us maybe a success story or a couple of things about what it was like for you with the chamber over the past 2 years.
Well, we were really just hunkered down, just like you were saying a year ago, 2 years ago this March, and we have a great meeting room, but nobody wanted to use it. And, you know, we all got accustomed to Zoom kind of meetings and so forth. So there was really kind of a hunkering down and stuff. But we've gradually over the last year, and it's probably been at least a year that we've sort of started to come out of it. And more of the organizations that didn't want to meet in person, if you would, have started to meet more now. Okay. Just one example, the Vero Beach Art Club didn't want to meet in person for a while, but just a week ago we had a big meeting in our Chamber of Commerce there, and they were planning their art show under the oaks that just went off this weekend, and it went very, very well and so forth. Yeah. But that's just one example of a number of organizations that have come up and started to meet more regularly in our place, and again, we make that meeting room available to all our members and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
One other aspect of it that I wanted to mention, and that is that economic development in the county is kind of headquartered in the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce.
Right, with Helene Castle
exactly, and they get a grant each year from the county, from the bed tax and so forth. So we work very closely with her particularly, and I happen to be, as a city council person, I was appointed to the Indian River County Economic Development Commission, and she is the secretary of that. And so we work very, very closely together and stuff. Want to support her all we can.
Oh, absolutely. Because I know, because for a while I was working exclusively in St. Lucie County, so I'm very familiar with Candy Marlowe, Peter Tesh, and everybody over at the St. Lucie County Economic Development. And they have quite a team. It's not a huge team.
Theirs is a very active, because in SCORE we had them in to speak with us several times.
Yeah, their annual reports year over year have been incredibly impressive. impressive.
Yes, they have.
Everybody wants to know what's happening behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff they can't talk about, and we all
Until
understand.
it comes to fruition, no.
I know, gosh, but we
I had
want to
that
know, right?
In GM an awful lot. Yeah, you couldn't. Because you'd be essentially negotiating against yourself is what it would amount to.
Absolutely. And perhaps tarred and feathered, but you released information.
Yeah.
But with Indian River County, what do you want to talk about? Because this is where I wanted to talk about the phrase that you use a lot in the chamber is think Vero first. And I like that. So I think what sometimes business owners think is that maybe they might have to move out of where they are for brighter, bigger pastures. And they sometimes forget to talk to their economic development people before entertaining an expansion somewhere else, right?
Absolutely. You should definitely get a hold of the Indian River Chamber people, because as we meet as an economic development commission and so forth, we have the ability, with the county's help and all, to give tax relief, to give grants, if you would, on the basis of how many employees you're going to get and that kind of stuff. So if you're a local business looking to expand or vertically integrate your activity, or even horizontally, and going to have more employees, there are a number of incentive programs that are available for locals. But we also do a lot to attract businesses from outside. Williamsport, Pennsilvania, has a company that makes soft drinks, if you would, and they have we've just given them some help to acquire a local, unused, now closed meat or orange packing, citrus packing plant, and they're going to convert it in, starting off with some 30-odd employees, if you would, to make their local drinks here.
Very nice.
Fruit-based drinks, but not citrus.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. But you know what? I know before Cindy waves the take a commercial right now, Ellen sign that she has for me. We're going to take a quick break, but I want to talk more about economic development when we return. So stay tuned. Bob McCabe of the Vero Beach Chamber. We'll be right back. I get all formal.
They're coming. The Blue Angels will roar over the skies of Vero Beach once again. Don't miss the Vero Beach Air Show, April 29th, 30th, and May 1st, featuring the return of the Blue Angels. See, hear, and feel the new Super Hornet jets and the new Fat Albert aircraft. New this year, a Friday night show. Don't worry, all 2020 tickets, vouchers, and passes will be honored. The Vero Beach Air Show, April 29th, 30th, and May 1st. Get tickets online at VeroAirShow.com. VeroAirShow.com.
ITEX, or International Trade Exchange, is the largest barter company in the world, with over 25,000 members offering goods and services. We're a marketing company that brings you new business in the way of trade, with over 200 local members enjoying the benefits of ITEX, like lawyers, doctors, plumbers, media, printing, and more.
Hi, this is Liz Bowler. Contact me and find out why barter through ITEX has been smarter for over 30 years. 772-532-1881. Visit itex.com.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Water service? Don't let your money go down the drain. Make sure to get a quote from Affordable Water. Many times, Affordable Water's original price is less than the competitor's discount price. Yes, Affordable Water really is affordable. Make sure to get a quote today, because you haven't gotten a quote until it's affordable. Affordable Water.
Call 589-7677. For your H2O, call the Pure Water Pros. Affordable water.
Well, welcome back to Treasure Coast Connector. I'm your host, Ellen Contreras, and I've been speaking with Bob McCabe, the president and CEO of the Vero Beach Chamber of Commerce. We were talking about economic development, but we had to take a break. We had to do the commercials. You know, we got to keep the lights on somehow, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes. So, and we love our sponsors. So now the thing is that you can't always talk about stuff, but we were talking during the break about a couple of distilleries, you know, coming.
Well, we all know about microbreweries and so forth. They've been very, very popular around here, and
I like my walking tree. I like my American icon.
And they're very popular. And I think we just had a craft brew and wing fest actually down on Royal Palm Point, the Sunrise Rotary Club, and we had over 200 craft brews there.
Yeah,
and so it's a very popular thing. And but now we've graduated from breweries to distilleries. Now the activity is to get local micro distilleries, and we have 2 that have been announced here in town already. And the Economic Development Commission in the county has helped very much move those projects forward, and the city of Vero Beach, because they're both in the city, and that we are doing everything we can to facilitate their moving forward and so forth. So even though we had to change, they're at the airport. The one of them is at the airport, and the airport had, under FAA, had a number of rules and additional regulations, if you would, part of the bureaucracy we were talking about. So we've helped them navigate that, and we've actually changed some of the zoning laws to permit them to actually have retail sales in that area.
Very good. We'll keep the pilots away from the whiskey, okay? But a very quick tip about whiskey. Venezuelans will put coconut water, not coconut milk, but a little splash of coconut water in the whiskey. My husband's Venezuelan.
Is that right?
Very good. Gotta give it a try.
Yeah. But having lived in Scotland and so forth, I got used to that. Single malt scotchers.
Yeah, so you don't put anything in that. You just sip that lovingly. Okay, that's a whole
little ice, maybe.
Other story. Yes, of course.
Maybe.
Yeah. But so now when we talk about drinking, we think about tourism, and that's another area that you help promote. So what would you like to say? Because there's been lots of articles. Vero Beach is amazing. Come here.
Yep.
And we actually do love our snowbirds and the visitors.
Yes, please.
So what would you like to say? Because people can walk in where you're located. Tell everybody where you're located.
We're at the corner of 19th Place and 14th Avenue. We're right in the heart of downtown Vero. And so it's just really great because we get just walk-ins all the time. We've created a visitor center there, and we have every kind of publication you can think of to tell people what's going on. And one of our biggest sellers is a free map that we give out to anybody that has the city map, street map of Vero Beach on one side and Sebastian on the other. So it covers the entire county. And just this morning, there were people in that came over from the Naples area, and they're looking to buy here, maybe, but they want to look around first. They're staying at the Sea Turtle Inn right there on Cardinal, and they were just asking all sorts of questions and that kind of thing. So we're trying to facilitate all of that, and we got an awful lot of calls from people around the state and around the country, actually, for information about Vero, what's going on, and that kind of thing. So
and
it's
have lots of things to hand out and stuff, which is really good.
Absolutely, like the flash that has everything listed on it, and we give those out by the droves.
Yeah, You know, I thought Deb Avery owned that. I truly did.
No.
I just...
She was a salesperson for them,
Yeah, she was that was it. She was the Vero Beach flasher, and it was adorable when she would
she
say
loved
that.
To say that. Yeah.
That really tickled us.
I'm just a flasher.
Yeah, it was very cute. So now the other thing about businesses, I want to make sure we put enough time on this too, is, you know, sometimes business owners think, especially if it's a business of one, and do you know that there's a lot of people that it's their business. They're the only ones. Maybe they have, you know, a team of outsourced people, you know,
suppliers.
But they're making bank, like 7 figures. Some people, you know.
Oh yeah.
Paul Jarvis, the business of one. If you want to read his book. But anyway, sometimes business owners think, oh, you know, I'm too small, or I'm too this, or I'm too that. No. You want to encourage people to be a member.
Absolutely, and that was what SCORE was all about. if you take a look at the overall economy in the United States, the actual preponderance of employment is small business owners or sole proprietors. The GMs and the IBMs employ a lot of people, but when you add it all up, just drive around town here, go down Old Dixie. But the other thing, just walking around the art and the park under the oaks yesterday, there were 200 and some odd tents, if you would. Virtually every one of those artists and so forth is a sole proprietor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they sell their paintings. And one thing we're really proud of in the city here is what we just created, that cultural arts village just to the north of to the west of me.
Told me
and
about that.
It's just starting to come to fruition. It took like 5 or 6 years to get it all started, because that required a lot of zoning changes in the city so that these artists could have their studio and live there and sell coffee and donuts there and sell their artwork there. So that's starting to take hold, and we're just trying to really encourage that.
Yeah, and that'll be part of the monthly, the first Friday of the month gallery stroll.
Exactly. It'll just detour a few of those people off of 14th up to 15th and that kind of thing. So I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, and maybe some of the artists can, if they want to, even rent your venue out for the gallery stroll.
Well, we did that for years. Again, COVID kind of slowed that down a little bit. We had a number of tents out in front of the chamber there. And we're at the front of the Masonic Lodge and so forth, so we're just so handy.
But I just had a thought. Janet Searsant, La Maison Publishing.
Yep.
So she did an event at the Heritage Center, which was at the end of the walk, but you're like in the middle of it. Janet Searsant, I'm going to call you later. I just that's why they call me the connector, because sometimes I see these things. It's like, this is a
network. You're building a network.
Yeah. I call it chocolate peanut butter moments, when I feel that this person needs to meet another person or a resource and things like that. So
but it's all to just inspire people to come downtown and shop and poke around, go to dinner and that kind of thing. So it's think Vero first. We're just still trying to get that across to people. If you have an opportunity to patronize a local organization or local company and help them out, that's what it's all about. Keeping that money in circulation, if you would, in the local community.
Yeah, absolutely. And so even like Tony, Brown of Carrabba's, so, people think,
he's on my board of directors.
I know. You let him on, that guy? Yeah, he's such a great guy. But you know what? Debbie Goodman-Venturina made a really good point, that I love a lot of these small mom and pop restaurants. But Tony Brown with Carrabba's, that is a chain. The food is so good at his place. He's really good at what he does.
He works really hard at it.
But that's the thing. But the people that work there are locals.
Exactly.
So
the payroll is fantastic.
Yeah. So
he is struggling like everybody else to get people.
Yeah, I know.
We did a jobs fair a couple of months ago. I think we're thinking about doing another one.
Oh, good. Yeah. Very good. Excellent. And then, so another thing is that even if a business is located outside of Vero, they could still join your chamber too if they're marketing.
Absolutely. We have a number of from Sebastian and even farther away, if you would. Particularly, there's a number of companies that have become members because they're looking to expand into this market and so forth. And becoming a member of our chamber, if you would, gives them a real entree to our constant contact messages that we send out all the time.
Yep. So. Very good. So now it's verochamber.com, right? Verochamber.com.
Yes.
Yep, I took a sneak peek at my slide.
Yes.
772-226-5459.
Right.
So people that are visiting, they're living here, or they have a business, that's where they go or call to learn more about whatever it is that they need.
There's a lot of information on info at Vero Chamber, too, if they want to get us to respond directly to
email.
To email and send out snail mail, even we mail out.
Yeah, well, you're very good at your newsletters. So, you know what, get on the newsletter, whether they are a member or not, because you also have the Cocktails and Commerce.
Yep.
So as a member, somebody pays $5 to go network.
Yep.
If they're not a member, they can still go. You pay $10, but it's worth it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Worth
it. We
it.
just had one last Thursday at Alexander and Alexander Insurance.
I'm so
and
sorry.
And he had the greatest thing from Saigon Sushi. It was fantastic.
He has a great personality.
Yes, he does.
And
he's everywhere.
Yeah, and I honestly, I couldn't make it, and I wanted to, and I can't believe it. We're out of time. So you know what, Bob McCabe, thank you so much for being here.
Ellen.
My name is Ellen Contreras, Treasure Coast Connector. Until next week, I miss you already.